XM-18 3.5 skinny harpoon Spanto. So I've switched this knife over to Teflon. People are probably like, oh, you know, Teflon sucks. Why didn't you keep the bearings? Well, I just didn't want the bearings, you know, to get gunked up or sticky or rust or anything. And Hinderers have been really good on Teflon for a long time now. That's on Teflon. It flips just fine. In fact, it flips about like it was on bearings. Oh, here are the turkeys. I'm out in the woods today. Just trying to give everybody some close-up shots on this thing. This is the Battle Black finish. I think it's kind of like a working finish. Just like the Battle Blue 24 that I have. It's sort of like that. What's cool about these though is they give you a black standoff. Is where the Battle Blue knife that I have just has the plain polished standoffs. I don't know if all the Battle Black ones or if it's just the Battle Black with the black G10. But that's kind of neat, I thought. I mean, I could go either way. It doesn't bother me to have black or polished, but you know, you can see the finish along the edge there is kind of, well, it's showing pretty silvery there. I guess that's part of the battle aspect, I don't know. It's just perfectly imperfect, and so that's what they just go with, I guess. This is a really lightweight knife. So it's skinny, but it's not like as skinny as like the Inkosi. Like, the Inkosi's too damn thin for my hand. Like, it just doesn't feel right in the hand. The Chinese fakes have thicker titanium and they feel considerably better to me. It's as though you were trying to have a cup of coffee, but instead of a cup of coffee you had a rose, where the coffee was in the rose petal area and you had to hold it by the stem, versus a big fat coffee cup or something. You know, it's just not comfortable in the hand, the standard Inkosi and the Sabenza. And this skinny, you know, it's a lot thinner, which, you know, is definitely a trade-off. The regular 24 or 18 and 24 are a lot more hand filling. The 24 is even fatter, but this isn't so thin that like you can't, it's uncomfortable in the hand in any way. So that's good. This is more of a EDC. I switched it to Teflon because I might get it wet or get it into some gunkier stuff. The 24 I mostly keep into the woods, and I'm not using the recurve right now. So my 18 recurve. Oh, that was like the slowest it's ever closed. But I mean, it totally opens just fine on Teflon. Here's the bearings that come with it. This is what I really wanted to talk about. I'm leaving them in the bag because they're a hell of a lot easier to hold. If I had it in my hand, they're so small. I'm trying to get those phosphor bronze ones out of the way. Anyway, this is the side that you wouldn't engage the blade with. This is the side that goes in the little pocket on the blade. See how there's that rim on the metal? And it's open there. It's kind of like a bucket or a cup shape. And then this side here interfaces with the blade, and with the titanium, most important. Well, this side engages with the blade, and then the other side engages. Yeah, but the thing is that there's such a small surface area that over time, perhaps maybe it could scratch or wear down. These aren't even actual bearings. You know, like when you have a sealed bearing, you know, the rolling surface is in here, not on the outside flats. This is like a washer with rollers on it. This isn't truly a bearing. I mean, those are little tiny ball bearings in there that might spin freely in that cage, but they're pinched in that cage. They're not going to spin real freely in there on their own. So what's really making the knife fly open as if it was actually on bearings is the fact that there's such a small surface area engaging with the steel. That's kind of hokey. These could potentially rust. There's some kind of crud in this one here. I don't know if that's rust or what that is. I haven't inspected it further, but it's in there. I think it might be some rust. I mean, these are pretty high. These aren't high quality, but they're okay. They seems to get pretty consistent quality from whoever's making these. But I mean, the whole reason why it flips open is because there's such small surface area engaging the blade. I mean, think of a ballpoint pen versus, you know, when it's open and when it's closed. I mean, that ball rolls in the ballpoint pen, but it's mostly because the surface area is, you know, it's just touching that finest round point on there. Versus on a washer, it's fully engaging with that. And the Teflon's self-lubricating. You know, over time, will this scratch something into the blade? I don't know. I don't believe these are spinning inside the knife, because this is inset inside that little blade pocket. So I mean, if it would, and it's not spinning on the pivot, you know, the pivot bolt, because that's not even a bearing surface inside there. That wouldn't be good at all. So I mean, the only way that this is actually a bearing is that maybe those balls roll independently slightly inside there, and it's 99% is the surface area. So, I mean, take that for what it is. Again, here's the knife on Teflon. Pops open just fine. And you're not going to have to worry about, you know, those bearings getting dinked up or whatever. I'm going to leave my 24 on bearings for right now. I'm going to see how this one does on the Teflon. So far, it's been amazing. I really like Hinderer knives. They're amazing. CPM 20CV has been really good. I've been beating the heck out of my 24, chopping some Japanese honeysuckle with it, and all kinds of things. Fit and finish is pretty good on this one. Be cool to have a little logoed tab here with just one screw. Some guys have like modified pennies. Teflon rules.